my name is Nir and today I am here to review the final Rogue One trailer. Wow, that was one of the best trailers I have ever seen in my life. Everything was so perfect about it. Well, I'll leave that in my final thoughts part of the video, but first let's get to the review. So the opening shot of the trailer is Krennic's epic shuttle landing towards the planet where Galen Erso is hiding. The next shot is Galen telling Jyn that whatever he does it to protect her. This could mean that he wants her to go into hiding and that he doesn't want the Empire to know that she exists. Maybe because later we see Mon Mothma telling that he is critical to the construction of the Death Star. So this probably means that since they don't have a leverage to keep him working, maybe he'll just pull back the project for years, and that really could be a huge reason to why the Death Star took so long to build. Because then you see Jyn in an Imperial prison, and if they really know who she is, Galen's daughter, then that really means that they have their leverage, and that sort of blows up in their faces, well, literally, when the rebels free Jyn. Okay, the shot where you see Galen heading towards Krennic and the Death Troopers is actually a bit interesting. It's a very minor detail about Krennic, but you see that he doesn't have his director rank, and he's a black Imperial hat. I mean, we didn't see it before, so it's a bit interesting. I really love details in characters, so I don't know, that really interests me, and to know that he's not still in his full rank as he is in the movie, and that he has a little black hat. Next shot, as I said, you see Jyn waking up in an Imperial prison. And then that epic shot from Jedha, you see that giant Star Destroyer hovering above the planet, and you see a few TIE fighters coming into it. It probably means that you see that Chirrut is going to, with a few other friends, is going to attack a part of Jedha, and the Empire is sending security there to capture the rebels. So the next shot, you see the rebels freeing Jyn from the Imperial prison on most likely Jedha, and that means they know who she is if they free her, and they do mention in another international trailer that they intercepted a coded Imperial transmission that about the Death Star, and it says that the message came from her father, so that probably means they know who she is and they've just freed her. The next shot, you see a U-Wing hovering above a giant Jedi statue. It just seems awesome. Next shot is the rebel base on Yavin 4, and you see who are most likely Jyn and Cassian Andor preparing to go to their mission. And then you hear Cassian asking Jyn when was the last time she was in contact with her father. And I think she really understands what's going on. This is probably before they're going out for the mission, when they really explain everything, like, we know about your father, we know he's building in the Death Star, and something like that. And she doesn't understand, and Mon Mothma and Cassian are explaining it to her. Next shot is an epic shot of a planet called Eadu, I think. I'm not really sure. And you see Krennic there, you see Galen there, you see tons of stormtroopers there, you see Death Troopers, you see a few Imperials, and this is one of my most favorite shots in the entire trailer. It's just so cool. Next up is an epic shot of Death Star probably hovering above either Jedha or Scarif. Next is a very cool shot of a U-Wing taking off that we've already seen before. I just loved it when Bodhi said,
Rogue One.
And then we see a ship, probably a U-Wing, going into hyperspace. Next is our first epic shot with Darth Vader. It just seems so cool, his silhouette reflecting in the floor. Next we see a shot with Krennic and Vader, and Krennic stating that the power that they're dealing with is immeasurable. We all know how that's gonna end up, like we see Vader in A New Hope when someone tells him that the Death Star is basically unstoppable, he force chokes him. So I don't know, maybe Vader will force choke Krennic. That could be interesting. Again, epic shot of the Death Star. Next we see someone who in a very first sight is Krennic, but he stands in the back. So is this maybe Tarkin? Really interesting. I hope so. And then we see what I think is the Death Star targeting Jedha. Next, we hear someone saying that they really don't stand any chance against the Death Star. After that, epic shot with an AT-ST in Jedha. Next, we see Saw Gerrera, and he has robotic legs, which really surprised me. Next, this shot in Scarif with a giant Imperial base. Who knows? Maybe this is the Death Star and super laser, and it's just finishing construction on Scarif and then moving its place towards the Death Star itself, as we see in the first teaser trailer when we see the actual super laser going into the Death Star. So this could be really interesting to see. Then some rebel troopers running through the jungle of Scarif. Cassian, Jyn, and K2 going undercover into that probably Scarif base to, I really hope, recover the Death Star plans. Epic shot with X-Wings on Iadu. Then Cassian says make 10 men feel like 100. I'm really confused by that, I really don't know what he means. Then we see a giant explosion on Iadu. It's probably the giant Imperial base on Iadu we saw earlier blowing up. Who knows, or maybe it's the rebels invading that planet. Either way, I think this will be an epic scene. Next we see Chirrut firing with his giant blaster on some storm and shore troopers. I really don't know how he's able to aim with him being blind. Then we see Bodhi probably preparing to go into a spaceship, and maybe the giant explosion of a spaceship we see in the teaser trailer and the actual trailer is him, I don't know, sacrificing himself or something? I don't know. Then our first battle in space, which looks awesome. Then we see K2SO maybe firing at some Imperials from a ship. This is a really nice little scene when you see Jyn ask if they're rebels, and Cassian and a few others are just I don't know, flattered by that comment or something. Then there is a huge explosion on Jedha. There is a theory that the Death Star will fire at Jedha, which I think this trailer pretty much confirms it, and I think this is really interesting to see the Death Star not getting to its full power. Next, my favorite shot in the whole trailer, where you see Vader approaching Krennic. And if you notice, there's some sort of fog or mist approaching from Vader when the doors open, and you see that he has his A New Hope armor, if you really look closely and zoom in. So that's really interesting. It's probably him in the back tank where you see from the teaser trailer, and that means he's getting fixed up after being defeated. Okay, I really don't want Vader to be defeated somehow in this movie. Next, we hear Saw Gerrera telling them to save the rebellion, save the dream. I have no idea what he means by that. And then you see a huge fight on Scarif with U-Wings and AT-ACTs, which stand for All-Terrain Armored Cargo Transport. So it's not AT-ATs, but still, they look almost the same. And the final shot of the trailer is, I think, Chirrut and Baze running from a giant AT-ACT. Okay, now to the final thoughts. First of all, I think I give this trailer 9.5 out of 10. Well, I'm taking a half point. Well, I'm not really sure about that because, well, it's about Vader. Part of me was really fine with that, with him just staying in the shadows, being sort of the puppet master, sort of like Palpatine was. But another part of me wants to see him with his lightsaber. Look, the creator said that Vader will be in one huge scene, but most of the movie he will be used sparingly. I don't know, I think my favorite scenes in the movie are going to be with Vader. Who knows, maybe something with Krennic or K2. Well, okay, two characters, good guys I'm really excited to see are K2SO and Chirrut Imwe. I hope I'm saying that right. they sound like so fantastic characters. First K2SO. I mean, who doesn't like droids in Star Wars? He's the Rogue One droid in Star Wars. For the original trilogy, it was R2D2 and C-3PO. Again for the prequel trilogy. For the sequel trilogy, I think it's going to be with BB-8. Like, I hope we see more BB-8. And for this movie, it's K2SO. I'm really excited to see what kind of character he is. I don't think he's going to be like any other droid we've ever seen before. Sort of like maybe a rogue droid, maybe, I don't know. Maybe the opposite of C-3PO or something, like not cute and sweet and not always worried about stuff. Maybe like preparing to go to battle and wanting just so awesome. Maybe something like that. And Chirrut, it looks like he's sorry about the word midichlorian count. Sorry, he's, I don't know, something between a Jedi and a regular citizen. Maybe that's why he can. So maybe he is using the Force to fight while seeing. I still don't get why he's even using a blaster when he's blind. I mean, maybe he can use the Force for that too. But I don't know. He looks so much cooler with his staff. Don't get me wrong. The blaster is good too, but I like him better with his staff. And it just doesn't make sense that he's using a blaster while being blind. Okay, now for the bad guys. Of course, Vader. Of course. Well, I think you can be a Star Wars fan and not like Darth Vader. I mean, come on. He is one of the best villains in all of cinema history. Okay, Vader. I'm really excited for the scene we will see him. I mean, maybe the big scene of him will be not with the lightsaber. Who knows? Maybe we hear big scene with Vader. We immediately think him him turning on his lightsaber and just cutting down some rebels. That could be cool. Don't get me wrong, but maybe it's not what we will see. Maybe this movie will not feature lightsabers at all. Only blasters and tanks and starships. I mean, I think Star Wars has 3 parts: lightsabers and Jedi, smugglers, rebels, and stuff like that, and spaceships. So I think we're really seeing in Rogue One that the movie is focusing on the 2 other sides that are not with the Force. I mean, Chirrut is a nice touch. I love him. And I don't know, I'm really excited for this movie. So excited. I mean, I can't wait for December 16th. I think December 16th. I will most likely be making a review about the movie on my channel. And there will most likely be some TV spot trailers for like we saw in The Force Awakens. Maybe I'll review some of them too. I have no idea. Okay, another bad guy I want to talk about is Krennic. Krennic could be a really interesting villain. There could be a personal rivalry with him and Vader. I think about his character, we do know that he's trying to get up in the ranks of the Empire to get to Palpatine even closer. So I don't know, maybe he wants to take Vader's place and then fails, and yeah, we all know how that turned out. You will die. Either with a lightsaber or something, I have no idea. It's most likely that Krennic will die. I mean, if we see him as one of the chief architects of the Death Star, and not seeing him in the conference room on A New Hope will just be weird, so they'll probably kill him off in the end of the movie. I mean, and maybe some good guys will die too. I mean, maybe K2, maybe Chirrut, maybe Jyn, maybe Cassian, who knows? I think some good guy is going to die. Maybe all of them. Who knows? Maybe all of them will die, and the plans will somehow get to Leia. Okay, if there is something I really want to see is the end of the movie being the opening scene of A New Hope. Think about it. The end scene of the movie being Vader getting into the Star Destroyer, preparing to go after the rebel ship where Leia is. This could be so amazing to be the end shot of the movie. This could really connect to A New Hope. Really see how, like, maybe it's just hours away from A New Hope. Who knows? Maybe the movie is just starting. I mean, it's most likely that the movie is starting like 19 years before New Hope. Well, we see that Krennic is taking Galen, but most of the movie, I think will most definitely be a few days or hours from A New Hope, and that is something I really want to see. Vader and Leia's ships going like the opening scene of A New Hope in the end scene of Rogue One. This is what I'm asking for. Please let there be something like that, or maybe K2 will call humans meatbags. I would really like to see that. I will just go home happy with him calling like Cassian a meatbag or something like that, or Jin, or Krennic, like take that you evil meatbag. That could be really nice. Okay, so that was my thoughts and review on this trailer. Please leave your thoughts down below. I'll see you next time and goodbye.